What is up, everybody? This is Eric, the one and only Bayer Collector, and today I am doing a very special video. But first of all, I want to apologize in advance because I just caught a cold right now and my voice sounds worse than normal. And I am having problems speaking, so I'll try my best to make sure that I do it as accurate, articulate as I can. But this video is very special for the reason being that on this date today, October 28th, marks the 7th anniversary of my video game channel. So today I have my typical haul of the month, as well as a special extra game review that I'm gonna do of a game that I've known of for a very long time. It's an expensive game to own. However, I own it in a different way, but more on that later. But first of all, let's get on with the video. I'm gonna try to go through it as fast as I can as far as this, so we can get to the special game review. And right now we're gonna be doing the hauls that I got for the Steam this month. Let me set it up right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. And I will try my best to go through the games as I remember, because I did get a couple of games on Steam for free for the most part. A couple I did pay. So first of all, Distant Space. Now this game is one of those, it was for free. If you guys want to see this, it's basically a space shooter, kind of like that Atari game. Oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of it. It's a very Space Invaders. Sorry. And I'll send you guys to the store page. And this is actually free. It was going for free, so you guys are probably gonna see the video. If you guys can see it, it's like Space Invaders. So it's basically an arcade space shooter. The next one, this one was also free. This one was Doki Doki. Oh my goodness, it's a Doki Doki game. I can't even see the name. It's Doki Doki. Let me look at my notes. It's Doki Doki Literature Club. Now this is a horror. Yeah, it's right there. Doki Doki Literature Club. This is a horror novel base game. So it's very interesting. You try to date these girls, but it's more than just dating the girls, because there's more things that are happening as the story progresses. And this game was actually free, so yeah, from the reviews that I read, they say that it gets really cryptic, very interesting, very weird. So yeah. This next one is a 2D side-scrolling platformer called Duck Dash. This is basically a little duck that you control, that his name is Scuffles? Scruffles or Scuffles? I can't see. I'm blind. Scruffles, yeah, and it's just basically like a Mario little duck game. You can see right there, it's free also. 10 levels, and just, kind of like yeah, as you can see, kind of Mario-esque looking game. Looks fun. The next one that I got, and this one I did pay for, Hunt Down. This is basically a 2D side scrolling platformer. Very arcade style, very similar to Contra. You're basically some bounty hunters that are out to defeat an evil syndicate. As you guys can see right there, you guys can see it. It looked very fun. This was a game I was trying to get for a really long time, but it went on sale. So yeah, it looks very, it reminds me so much of like Contra, like shooter style game. So yeah, I can scroll if, we look over here, you guys can see it right there, see? Yeah, so you gotta defeat a corrupt syndicate. So yeah. The next one that I got. Okay, so this one was Indiana Jones. The first one, I bought this game because it came on sale with a bunch of other Indiana Jones with 3 other ones. The one that I wanted to get was Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. So this is a 3D it's a 3D adventure fighting, like not fighter, but see, excuse me. So it's basically, you're in China to prevent a powerful artifact from falling into the wrong hands, of course, like Nazis. And yeah, so is it Nazis? I don't know if it's similar to that. Yeah, the Nazis, yeah. because a lot of it is based on that. But it looked really fun. I want to say that this one came out in consoles. I'm not sure. There is another one of these Indiana Jones that came out in a console, I believe. The other one I got with the bundle was Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. This is a point and click adventure game where you're trying to the Nazis are trying to get a powerful weapon that is believed to have sank the island of Atlantis, and Indiana Jones is sent out to help with it. And it's a point and click. That one looks interesting. And then the other one, Indiana Jones, this one, and the Infernal Machine. I think this is the one that I was meaning to buy originally, not the other one. But this is more of another 3D adventure game. It's a little different than the point and click. I don't think it's a point and click. You guys can see right there. I don't think it's a point and click. Because when you see it, it's gonna be it's basically, you're trying, the CIA wants to recruit you to go find out what's going on with some Nazi situation in the Soviet. So I guess the Cold War just started. And now they're sending Indiana Jones to go investigate what's going on. And yeah, this one's also like a 3D adventure. This is more of a 3D adventure game. I don't think it's a point and click. But, of course, we got Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This one, of course, is based off of the movie. And I believe this one is a point and click. Excuse me. Yeah, this was more of a point and click, kind of like Atlantis. So yeah, and based off the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade movie. Pretty good bundle. I got it for a really cheap price. Now this one right here, I believe this one was free. Basically, you play as this call girl who is your last night on the job as a call girl. You got married, you have a husband, but you're doing one more gig and then you'll call it quits. However, the London Ripper is after either her or it's after girls. You're trying to avoid the London Ripper as you do your last night in the job of being a call girl. So this one looked very interesting. So yeah, got that one. Then this next one right here, this is obviously a console. Mark Echo's Getting Up, Contents Under Pressure. This one came out on the PS2, and this is a beat 'em up action game. And basically, you're like a tagger or a graffiti artist or a tagger who's trying to uncover an evil plot from the mayor of the city that you're at. You're Troy, and you're trying to uncover that. But you're kind of it's a beat 'em up. That's the word that I'm looking. So it's a beat 'em up game, and it was a console game, so it can buy really cheap here in the Steam Deck. And then the next game, Mystical Map. This one is a 2D side-scrolling roguelite. And basically, the interesting thing about this game is that you have a map, and you select your route of how to go about and play those rooms to get the treasure. So it's a very interesting game. It also went on sale just recently, so pretty interesting. This one I've been keeping an eye out for a really long time, and it went for really cheap. Okay, enough of that. Come on. And then the next one, this is another interesting one, a Reventure. So this one is basically a 2D side-scrolling platformer rogue adventure game where it has hundreds of endings. And each way, like when you die, it has 100 different endings. But you get to play the game in different areas. Like you go about it differently. And every mistake is kind of like a learning lesson. And you go by it again. So you go on quest and you die and you gear up and do all that. Interesting. So you fail and you die and you start again. So yeah, very interesting game. This one caught my attention. As you can see, it has elements that look a lot like Celeste too. So we'll see that. That one was cool. And then this one is free also. It's called Sheepy. Let me see, because it's called Sheepy. Let me go to the start page. Sheepy, a short adventure. This one's free. Is you're basically a stuffed animal that got discarded, and you're trying to explore a world around you. And it's basically a 2D side-scrolling platformer. It looked very interesting, and the graphics look very nice. So you basically, you get left behind, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. Interesting game. And then the next one, this one's another one that I have my eye on. It's called Hold on. It's hard for me to see through the screen because I'm actually looking to where I'm recording. So I'm trying to get the name. So it's Super Spyroxo Adventures Island of Dunfu. This one is very, very similar to Joe and Mac. If you guys know that arcade game. It's a 2D side-scrolling arcade style game where you're spending time with your wife, and your wife gets kidnapped by this evil band of um, people called the Dunfus. So you go out after your wife. So as you can see, very Joe and Mac inspired. Very, very Joe and Mac inspired. So it looks very interesting. And it went on sale. So yeah. Then Sword of Destiny. So this one, which one is this one? I'm just trying to remember. Okay, let me look at the story. I forgot. So this one is, of course, this is a 2D side-scrolling platformer. And basically, the evil king has brought out some skeletons to kind of take over the land. And so you're out there to save the kingdom. I want to say this could be a Metroidvania. It's a 2D platformer. Yeah, it's kind of like a platformer. Yeah, so it looks very interesting. So yeah, I don't know if that one was free or not. And then this one, I believe this one was free. And this one's funny, Carlos the Taco. So this is a 2D side-scrolling platformer. You're basically getting married, and then someone kidnaps your wife, and so he goes out on a revenge to go save his wife. So as Carlos the Taco, it's a 2D side-scrolling platformer. Looks pretty fun. Looks interesting. So yeah, that one looks fun. So anyways, let's see what else is there. Excuse me. Okay, Tiempo. This one was free. This is basically a 3D side-scrolling platformer that you kind of explore a clock tower, and the graphics on it look very cool for a free. It's a short story adventure game, as you can see. So you're going out there to explore this clock tower. The graphics look awesome. They look very good for a 3D game. So yeah. So let's see how that one's gonna come out. And then finally, this one I did purchase, Tron 2.0. This one's the first person adventure game based on the Tron series and the movies. I believe this one did come out in a console as well. I'm not sure. But they're saying that out of all the Tron games, this is one of the best ones. So you're going out there to explore, a virus is taking over, to fight off the computer viruses and everything in Tron. So very, very interesting game. And yeah, and these are my purchases, my digital purchases of the month. Let me go ahead and turn this console off. That way, I can shut it down, and then I can go ahead and start the video with the other items. Put that aside. Excuse me. So now with that being said, we're going to be going on with the physical items. I'll put that to the side. Let's put the controller right there just for display. And yes, I didn't buy a lot of physical items this month. As much, I was actually surprised with the amount that I bought, even though it's not a lot. Because I literally wasn't planning on buying anything. I was just going to buy the digital purchases, and that was going to be it. October was going to be a dry month. But I did manage to get a couple of things. So the first game that I got is a game that I've been wanting to get for a really long time for the PS4, and that's Origami. Basically, this is a 3D adventure game. It's a stealth game. So this one I've been wanting to get for a long time. Unfortunately, I got it in the same store. I've seen it for months now. However, when I got it, I did not get it with the case, and I was a little bit ticked off because the people there were very nice at GameStop. They looked and looked and looked and they couldn't find it. So, but at least I got the game. Got that one. And then I went to my local thrift store and I got a couple of things. Got a couple of games. The first one was for the PS4, The Order 1886. This is basically a third-person adventure game. It's kind of like an alternate take on Neo London, like the Knights of the Round Table. You're one of the Knights of the Round Table that gets sent out to defeat some evil half-breed creatures. So this one looked very interesting. Got it complete. Excuse me. Then the next one I got for the Xbox 360, Battle Stations Midway. And this one's also complete. This is basically, it takes place, of course, in World War II. You control different ships, airplanes, and different vehicles and such. And it's a strategy game based on World War II. I believe this takes place in the Pacific theater of World War II in the Pacific. I believe. I may be wrong. Maybe I'm confusing it with one of the other ones. You'll see right now. But anyways, this one, my son, it caught his eye for Logan. Logan looked at it and he's like, oh, that one looks interesting. Yeah, it actually does. This next one is called Red Faction Guerrilla. This is basically the sequel to Red Faction. It takes place 50 years after the events of Red Faction. You are now in Mars and you are trying to defend the planet from this evil group of people. And you're trying to defend Mars, I believe. I think this is I don't know if it's a third-person shooter or it's a 3D shooter. But yeah, it looked interesting. Let's give it a shot. Then the next one, this one I just got because it was there and it was going for really cheap, and it's Dead or Alive 4 for the Xbox 360, all complete with receipt from whenever they bought it. It is basically a fighting game based on the Dead or Alive series. Is the fourth one. I'm not too familiar. I know Dead or Alive what it is, but I'm not too familiar with it. But I just got it because I thought it was there in the pile and it was for cheap. So might as well give it a shot for some fighting games. So yeah. And then this one, The Outfit, is the next one I got for the Xbox 360. Now this one could be I think the other one is related to the Pacific Theater. This one right here is basically a 3D adventure game where you are a little group of 3 soldiers who are uncovering the mysteries of a they're trying to figure out how one of their party members' friends got killed, and they're trying to investigate who did it in the middle of World War II. So this one caught my eye. This one is one of the ones that really caught my eye. And then finally, another Lego game, Lord of the Rings. Lego. Based on the Lord of the Rings franchise. So yeah, got that one. Lego games there's some that are cool, some that are hard, so yeah. And then I also bought a couple of games online, especially some Saturn games. And this one is Enemy Zero for the Sega Saturn, Japanese. Very nice cover as it glitters. This one's really interesting. This is kind of like a game that's similar to Resident Evil 2, but you're in a spaceship that you wake up from being cryogenically asleep. You wake up and you find out that some invisible alien killed your mate, some of your shipmates. So you go around the ship trying to find the alien that did that. This one looked very interesting and it looked fun. So definitely give it a shot. This other one looked interesting as well. It's called Virus. From what I heard is that they turned this into an anime after this came out for the Sega Saturn. They say that it's similar to Police Knots, where it's kind of like a graphical text adventure / rail shooter / adventure game. And basically, in the future, a lot of people hang out in the net, hang out in cyber. It's kind of like a cyberpunk game. They hang out in the cyber world, and there's some evil virus that's killing off people in the cyber world, and you're investigating what's going on. This one looked fun, and it's based off an anime as well, or they made the game into an anime. I remember that one as well. Now this one was unique and weird, and I've never seen this before on a PS1 game. You guys can comment below if you guys seen different games like this. And this PS1 game, it's hard for me to pronounce. Sorry if I butcher it. It's called Gambare Morikawa-kun 2 Go. For the PlayStation 1, it's basically kind of like a pet simulator. They kind of translate to like My Pet TV or something like that. It's like a sequel, but what makes it unique is that the game is in a cardboard box. And I remember that this was like a special, from what I read, that this was like a special release. See? Excuse me. As you can see, Pet and TV. So it's very interesting. And what it is kind of like a pet simulator / strategy game. You kind of give your pet commands to build some things and whatnot. And yeah, it caught my eye. So it looked interesting, but very unique. I've never had a PS1 game in a box like this before. So of course they had the PS1 games when they early came out back in the days. The regular case ones like that, and then this. So comment below if you've seen other games that have this box, or this is special or a unique thing. Let me know. But yeah, and then the other one that I got for the PS1, Super Robot Wars Alpha Gaiden. This one is basically a side story to the Super Robot Wars games. It's a strategy RPG where the crew or the characters from Super Robot Wars get sent into like an alternate universe, and they're trying to get back and trying to figure out how to get back and everything. So I read that the story is non-canon to the series, so it's kind of like a side story. But I played a couple of Super Robot Wars strategy games, and I really enjoyed them. So yeah, and then finally, this is another one that I couldn't find as the English version. It exists as a US version, but I got the Japanese version of it for the PS1, and that is Sai, or Devil Dice, in the North America. It's basically excuse me. It's basically a puzzle game where you roll the dice into a certain combination to move. Now, I read that the Japanese version is completely in English from what I read. So basically this is it's in English, like the menus and everything's in English, so it's not hard to play in Japanese. So it's pretty good, and I got it for a really cheap price. Like all these Japanese games got them for super cheap. So those are my video game haul of October. Now I got a couple of items. There is one game that I kind of set aside as a computer game. Let's put it as an honorable mention, and my son and I were cracking up on this one, and it's dogs playing poker, based on that picture of the dogs playing poker. It's a computer poker game for the PC. It was very cheap, and my son and I got a kick out of it. We thought it was hilarious. So it's a poker game based with dogs, so you play as the dog. So that one's fun. And then of course, items that I got. The first thing is that within the month we went to the movie theaters, and sometimes when we go to the movie theaters, my son asked for freebies in the counter. And this month they had a postcard that was really cool, I thought, based on the Demon Slayer movie that just came out. And it's this postcard, Demon Slayer. What's it called? Infinity Castle. Excuse me. So yeah, it's a postcard, a huge one. We got a couple of them. My son kept one, I kept one, and then my son gave one to his friend. So yeah, so really cool. I thought that was cool. That was neat. And then of course I found a Transformer, which was very odd. I remember it, but not quite remember it, and I didn't realize that it was a 3-in-1 pack, and that is the Transformers Legacy 3-in-1 pack that has these robots right here: Thundertron, Night Strike, and Calcitron. So as you can see, there's one right there, There's the other one right there, and then that one right there. There's three in one. I've never seen this one out in the wild before at the stores when it came out, and I got it for a really good price because I heard that this thing cost a lot of money and that it's not really worth paying a lot for it. But it's a pretty cool transformer. See, I got it for 20 bucks, so it wasn't that bad. And they say this one was like expensive, or it used to be expensive when it came out. I don't know. Never really heard of that one. So I'll put this one right here. Really cool. And then finally, oh no, before I got a controller at the thrift store when I bought the games, and it's another a GameCube controller, but I didn't realize that it was a third party one. But it looks really cool. At least it's just I didn't pay that much for it, but it's a third party controller. And now I got a couple more controllers so I can, if other people want to play in the GameCube. I had two, now this is my third one. No, I have four now with this one. A third one is it's a like a turbo controller. And then I learned that these controllers, this one right here, is to program to do like certain combinations of buttons to program it. I learned that. I didn't know that's what that button was for, and that in the early life of the GameCube, these controllers had that feature, so you can program a couple of button combos, especially when you play like fighting games or whatnot. I thought it was interesting. I never knew that. So I'll put that one right here because finally, the last thing I got was now I want to thank my sister for giving me this. This is something that I got from her that her late husband had. And I knew that he used to do music as well as I did. And then she found this for me, which is the actual Ableton Suite Live 8. Now, so thank you to my sister for giving me this. I truly appreciate it because this right now, I looked it up. It's still an expensive software. Now, Ableton is a software that I used to do vocals when I did music. So I'm familiar with Ableton, but I had the light version. You know, back in the days when you bought a lot of equipment, they came packed with a little sample of Ableton with limited uses, but it was good enough for me to use and do vocals back in the day. So now I got the complete version of it. So can't wait to add this later down the line and put it in my computer or update the software that I got. And yes, this is finally my haul for October 2025. Like I said, I'm celebrating my 7-year anniversary in the channel, and because of that, this completes the haul. However, let me take a sip. I will throw in a bonus. I will do a special episode of a game review. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a game that's expensive to own. It's one that I've known for many years, and one game and then also it fits with a theme of Halloween as well, because we're nearing Halloween. And I wanted to give you guys something special as a thank you for everybody who subscribed and everybody who follows my channel. I truly appreciate it for all these years. Before I get into the review, I just wanted to say some quick words, and recently I've been contemplating whether or not to continue with my channel. It's been something that I've been thinking for a really long time. It's just getting hard to do. It's becoming something that, although it's fun to do, I've tried to keep up with it, and it's something that now my kids are starting to do their channels, are starting to do things, and it is one of those things that I've kind of debated whether or not to continue with the channel. For now, I'm going to keep going at it. I've thought about different things to do with the channel as well, but I've pretty much kept the same layout for a really long time. One of the things I haven't done is movie reviews, which is something I've been wanting to do. But that's something that might come up in the near future. Same thing with the Transformer reviews. I've been contemplating on doing that, and maybe I should just do that and to stop with the video games for a moment and just get to something different. But anyways, that's just what's been in my head. I know it's been 7 long years, but excuse me. Anyways, enough of that. Going back to the game. Game that's expensive to own. A game that it's um uh themed in the Halloween theme. And that game is for the NES, Monster in My Pocket for the NES. Now, this game came out is made by Konami, and it came out back in 1992. Now, I don't own it physically. Well, I do in a way. I own it through this game cartridge that has a bunch of games in one. It is in there. Excuse me. And I do own it, but the game came out back in 1992. And for those of you who are as old as I am, um, the game is based on some little figurines that were very small. They came out back in 1990. Over the years, they had some resurgence, but they quite didn't take off. These small figures based on monsters, based on mythical creatures, on mythology and whatnot. But the game is based on, on those toys. And with the game, you play as two characters, either as Frankenstein's monster or a vampire, and you can control either or the other. You can choose either one. It's a 2D side-scrolling platform action game, and your quest is out to defeat the evil warlock who is trying to take over all the rest of the monsters. But these two guys have not given in, so they go on a quest to defeat the warlock. And the game has 6 levels, 5 regular levels. The sixth one is kind of like the Mega Man games where you defeat all the bosses. And then, of course, it's actually 7. Then at the end, it's a boss level, the final boss. And the game is pretty fun. I kind of enjoyed it. It's really hard. I believe I played it with cheats. This is gonna be a full gameplay of the game. I played it with cheats. I chose the Frankenstein's monster because the first playthrough I did it on my own just to have fun with it, and I played it as the vampire to see if there were different endings. But the endings are the same. And pretty much the only power-ups you get are hearts to fill in your meter. And that's pretty much it. And it was made by Konami. The music is great. It has that Ninja Turtles style theme music, and the graphics are pretty decent, I believe, for a game of that time. But unfortunately, what makes this game expensive, I feel, it has to do with the popularity of the toys, because I don't think they were that popular. I remember those, but I never got into them. I don't think I've had any of those toys when I was a kid. I remember seeing commercials. I know there was a cartoon based on them, but I never really got into it. It's kind of like meh. So I guess the popularity of that, or the nostalgia factor, and being that it's a Konami game, it got really expensive. So the game is expensive to own. Even when I started collecting games way back in like 2016, 2015, that game was expensive. And I remember trying to get it. But it was too much. But fortunately, I have it on this cartridge so I can play it. And it was a really fun experience. I had fun playing it twice. So I was having a lot of fun with it. It's one of those games you can play 2 players at the same time. But it's fun. But once you beat it, you beat it. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy the gameplay footage of the game. I'll go ahead and put it as a full playthrough. Thank you guys for watching. For all of you, thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. Again, you guys can check out my family's channels. Their links are in the description down below. Lily, a simple mom, Logan from Logan's Toy Box Review, and Lexi from Lexi's Toy Box Review. Their links will be down below. And again, thank you so much, you guys, for staying with me through the years. Let's see how long I'll keep it up. For now, I'll keep going. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy the gameplay footage of the game. Hope you guys enjoyed the haul, what I did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I may not do a video the following Tuesday just because this is super long now. Maybe not. It depends. So I'll take a little break. If anything, I'll bring something out. If not, then you guys know why I didn't bring anything out the following week. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys take care. Peace out.